Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dan here with GrapeVineRecording, and welcome to this first video where we're actually going and doing some recording. I'm working on a movie at the minute, which a lot of it takes place in a car, and I thought I would use my car to replicate some of them sounds. None of these shots is the car actually driving, so it's kind of a nice, easy way for me to get used to recording cars and things like that, which I've never done before. One thing that I've done and set out with is I've created a list of all the sounds that I actually need from the car instead of approaching it in a kind of a blind way. Just before we carry on though, I just want to say that I've borrowed my brother's GoPro camera. I've never recorded with a GoPro, so I do apologise if it's terrible and the audio is terrible. But what I am going to do is when we actually start recording in the car, I'll like superimpose that audio so it should be a little bit better. We're learning. So I've created a list of sounds that I need from the car. I think this just allows me to be a little bit more focused when I go and record. I think it's good learning practice for if I ever go to, record something like a supercar, which, you don't have a whole lot of time with, so it's just a way to, be more focused and organised. It also allows me to figure out what type of equipment I need, so I can, use the best tool for the best job type of thing. So what we're going to do, we need interior atmosphers from the car when the car is both off and running but idle. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to use my H4n's stereo microphones for that. I'm going to get a couple of different perspectives. I'm going to get in the driver's seat, in the passenger seat, and in the middle of the back seats. I'm also going to get different perspectives from, say, underneath the steering wheel, like where the pedals are, type of thing. Try and get some of that like engine sound there. So that will be in stereo, and that'll just be used to like fill out the scene. I also need exterior ambiances of the car, so I'll do that as well, probably with this microphone, and I'll get that from different perspectives, from like the driver's side, the passenger side, the exhaust pipe, try and get that as close as possible to the exhaust, and also with the engine bonnet open to try and get some of that rattling sound of the engine. What else do I need? I need some doors open and close from the interior and exterior perspective, and I also need different velocity levels for that. So I need like a quiet sound, a louder sound, and one that's somewhat in the middle. For that though, because they're going to be used as kind of hard effects, which will be pretty close in the perspective of the camera and things like that, I'm going to record that mono. So I'm going to use, I don't know whether you can see it, but that's me NTG2 in the Road Blimp just off to the side. What I'm going to be doing with that is just kind of getting it pretty close, not like very, very, very close, but a little bit, maybe like a foot or so away from the doors. And they're just going to be used as like, they're going to be like centered of the stereo field anyway, so that'll be in between all of that other Atmos that we're recording. The ignition, I need to record. Again, I might do that mono, I might do it stereo, just depending on how it sounds, because again, that's going to just be part of an overall Atmos. So I'm not too concerned whether it's in mono or not. And then just little things, like the door handle movements and, kind of like the little Foley sounds. Because there's a lot of that in this film of, the guy leaning over to open a door, but then not, like the door actually not opening, just them kind of flicking the handle. So I'll get a couple of them sounds as well. But yeah, let's go. Let's go and have a look. We'll go and have a look at the car and see how we get on. Right, so here we are inside the car. I don't know whether you saw what type was it. Is a Daewoo Kalos. It is my it's my go-to like A to B car. But what I'm going to do, I've just realised as well that the good thing about the GoPro is that you can like attach it to things, because I quickly became aware that I don't have the required amount of hands to operate a camera and the microphone and the recorder at the same time. So we're going to have to kind of, make do for a lot of this. But so what we're going to do first off is just start recording a couple of Atmos tracks. So go and get all the equipment now, and then start with some nice Atmos sounds. Right, so here we are in the car now. We've got all the equipment down that we need. So first we're going to just record some kind of interior Atmos, but the car not running. For this we don't really need like a wind filter or anything like that. It's set to stereo. It's 96k 24-bit, and we'll just record about 30 seconds or a minute. You're not going to watch all of that, so don't worry. Right, so now we've recorded the kind of like the idle Atmos. Well, not even the idle Atmos, the car off Atmos. Might as well get the car turned on. So we can kill two birds with one stone here and get the ignition sound as well as some idling. So again, I'm going to use the H4n for this. I'm going to get as close as possible to the ignition. Sadly, I've got a load of key rings, so it might make a little bit of a rattle noise, but it might work, it might not. So we will get as close as possible and give that a go. Plus, it's just enough to loop if need be. So we want to start getting a couple of different perspectives now from within the car. I'll move the recorder around a bit so you can just get a feel of where the car sounds different, I guess. Passenger side. Passenger footwell. Driver's footwell. Driver's footwell sounded good. Do you want to clean this for us while you're there? Do you want to clean this while you're there? Take that as a no. And then we'll just do the rear seats. Okay, as you can see, we're not going anywhere like specific. I know in the footwells you couldn't really see too much about where we were, but it was just generally turning it like that and putting it kind of where you started hearing a change. Under the driver's footwell, I thought sounded nice. It offered something different than everywhere else. But this is just an insight into giving you an idea of where the different sounds are coming from. But there's definitely some usable stuff. Of course, because the engine's kind of just a drone, you can start looping some of these areas together, like what they do in games. If you've got 30 seconds, you can just start looping it in different points just to extend the usable amount that you've got there. Plus, this is going to be very low in the mix, so it's not that important. So next up, we're going to use some, going to get some external sounds of the car when it's just idling. I'll bring the GoPro with me, but I don't know how much usable stuff I'll be able to show you. We're going to go from outside the driver's door, just facing it, by the exhaust at the back, and then I'm going to pop the bonnet and get sounds from the front, like of the engine, looking in at the engine. So hopefully it'll give us some different sounds to use, and who knows, might be something good in it. Cool. So, best turn the car off. In terms of what we've been doing, kind of for car Atmos. Yeah, my car likes to make quirky noises at times. So in terms of like the Atmos of the cars, it's not too bad. The engine sounded pretty decent, but I'm not really sure how well that's going to work, kind of in the context of the movie. I like the footwell stuff and the exhaust stuff. But again, we'll see. Of course, these have only been little snippets of what I'm going to record. Next, we're going to look at just the sound of the door handle. I don't want to open the door, because there's a part in the car where in the film where he tries to open the door but fails. So we're going to get some of them. Again, I'm not really sure how well you're going to see. I apologise. So that was fun. I've got pretty much all the samples that I needed for at least this part of the movie. For those keen-eyed amongst you, you will have known that the door opening and closings were done on a different day. They were done today, where all the other stuff was done yesterday. That was just because I had something to do last night, so I had to kind of stop. You'd have also noticed that the literally opposite my house there's a building site at the moment, so it's a lot of background noise, but I can get rid of all that in RX. So what I wanted to just say is that in this experiment, or in this example, I haven't done any like post-processing on any of these sounds, and I will. I wanted to just kind of show you the sounds that I get literally coming off the microphone. There's got to be a lot of like noise removal and kind of processing to make it sound more like an actual sample instead of just, something that comes off a microphone. There's still a step that I need to do, which I'll be doing later on. You'll have also noticed that I actually didn't have the samples for, well, I do. I didn't film actually getting the inside door opening and closings, so I'll just play a couple of these for you right about now. Cool. So that's the sound of like just basically the door getting opened with the shotgun microphone just open and closing. But yeah, please let me know what you think of this, because it was something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'm sure and I'm absolutely certain that I'll be able to do this better in the future. It was just something that I felt like we kind of had to do, just because it's a big part of what the job is, and I didn't want to just show you guys me just using samples from sample libraries and putting them into Pro Tools, because that's pretty straightforward. So I want to kind of show you some of my part of it. But because this is the first I guess like field recording test, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make all of these samples available to you guys to download for free. I'm still not entirely certain whether or not I will charge for these in the future, as in like for sample libraries. Maybe not. But for you guys who have watched this, there'll be a link in the description. The link is to our like Bandcamp page, I guess, because that's kind of the best way I can think of creating an album of sounds for you to download. So all the raw samples are going to be up on there. You can use them as ever way you wish. I don't really mind. If you want to use it for a film that you're doing, a game, whatever, it's all cool with me. So that'll all be up on there. And yeah, that's kind of basically it for now. I've got a couple of other ideas that I want to do similar to this, go and record different things. That's kind of the plan. But I think most importantly, if you guys would just let me know what you think, whether this is a good idea, whether this is a bad idea. It's just something that maybe you don't want to see, maybe you do. But that'll be cool. If you let me know about that, that'll be great. Of course, please subscribe. Please go and follow I guess the company on Twitter is where I'll be showing a lot of this type of stuff. And yeah, thanks all for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Happy recording.